Yeah, you, listen up. If you don't have abs, you're obese and need to cut. I don't care if you're 5'11" and 160 pounds. You need to cut to get lean and shredded. Bulking will make you obese. Also, to really make them pop, make sure you are doing my 5 exercise ab routine. You hear this same thing a lot on fitness social media, or even just your own mind giving yourself this anxiety because you don't have abs. Many of the new lifters I recommend to bulk, like Clockwork, say the following: but I still want to get abs. You also see people following these circuit-style ab routines, spamming crunches and butterfly kicks. This is gonna get you nowhere. I fell for this trap too. When I first started my lifting journey, I tried to do a cut/recomp where I was promised I could build all this muscle and lose all this fat at the same time. I didn't want to bulk because I thought I would just get fat, which I already had to cut down from when I was a kid. I wanted a lean aesthetic physique, something like Athlete Next, not too bulky, right? Well, I hate to break it to you, but even that lean and aesthetic muscle still takes many months and years building muscle as fast as possible in a bulk to even achieve. Muscle takes a long ass time to build even in a bulk. Trying to do it while cutting/recomping is even slower. So by trying to get lean, all you're gonna end up doing is looking like a gremlin. You don't have the necessary muscle built to earn a cut yet, and you're not gonna effectively build ab muscle doing these terrible routines. This is what my ab routine used to look like. Just a bunch of crunches, hollow body holds, Russian twists, and whatever goofy shit I could think of. If you play your cards right, you could literally bulk into abs, bro. I've seen it happen many times. The only exception is if you are actually medically obese. Definitely go on a cut then. I will go over exactly how to do it for you. I promise you, dude, it's not as complicated as anybody else says. So how do we build up the abs? You train it like you would any other muscle. The abs are just another muscle group. So when talking about the abs, people actually refer to the rectus abdominis muscle, as well as the obliques usually. There is no actual upper, lower, and God forbid the middle head of the abs, contrary to popular belief. However, you can emphasize between the upper and lower abs a bit. The entire rectus abdominis is responsible for spinal flexion. If you are doing this against resistance, then your abs are being targeted. The upper abs are emphasized in movements where you are flexing the thoracic spine. The lower abs are emphasized in movements where you are posteriorly rotating the pelvis. With the obliques, there are 2 of them, so you usually have to do double the sets in order to hit both. They are responsible for spine lateral flexion and spine rotation. People don't really emphasize between the upper and lower obliques, but the same logic as abs should apply. At the very most, you will need 2 ab exercises, one that emphasizes the upper abs and one that emphasizes the lower ab, and 1 oblique exercise. In terms of ab exercises, here are solid exercises I would recommend: cable crunches, regular or decline sit-ups plus weighted variations, hanging leg raises plus weighted versions. And in terms of oblique exercises, here's what I would recommend: cable twists, hyperextension side twists plus weighted versions, and hanging leg twists plus weighted versions. What makes all of these movements so great is that they take the abs through a great range of motion and are very easily loadable, so you can actually add weight and get stronger within 30 reps. In terms of volume, just do 3 sets of each exercise once per week. You don't need any more than that. The reason why is also the reason that most people you know online who have nice looking abs often skip abs most of the time. Your other exercises where you engage your core, especially spine loaded movements like the squat and deadlift, will develop your abs very well by default. Of course, it isn't going to be as fast as it would if you did actual ab exercise taking them through a full range of motion, but your abs do noticeably get more developed as you add weight to your other exercises. This is because your abs' primary function isn't just moving the spine, but also stabilizing it, trying to resist movement. Whenever you are carrying 300 plus pounds on your back, your spine wants to collapse. It's not a rigid bone. It's a bunch of logs stacked on top of each other. So the musculature around your spine, which includes your abs and obliques, have to contract hard to hold it steady like guy wires on a radio tower. So in terms of building muscle, you can either get stronger on your heavy compound barbell lifts and skip abs, prioritize ab training and get stronger on that, or just do both. All of these methods will work to build your abs. All you need is patience. In terms of exercise execution, go as fast as you can on the concentric or the actual lifting portion, and take a 1 to 2 second eccentric afterward and repeat. Aim to do more reps or lift just slightly more weight each session. However, because abs are almost always done in isolation and you're usually already using your body weight, adding weight in reps is going to be pretty slow. So if even after a few weeks you only add a single rep or 5 pounds, that's still some great progress. Do this for many months and years and you'll be guaranteed to have some serious abs built. Next up is the part that everybody wants, which is cutting to reveal the abs. Everybody says abs are made in the kitchen. That is partially true. Any muscle really is made in the kitchen. However, the better saying is that abs are revealed in the kitchen. If there are no abs to reveal, then you simply won't have abs, which is why you may see a bunch of skinny fat dudes with low body fat but no abs. Let me explain to you how to properly go about cutting. Essentially, you store excess energy on your body as fat to utilize in the future. Every day you burn a certain amount of calories, which is known as your maintenance calories. There's no way to know exactly what this number is for you, because one day you could literally walk more and burn an extra 100 calories, but you can get a general estimate through trial and error. If you eat more calories than you burn per day, you will have excess energy and your body will have to accumulate fat. But the opposite is also true. If you eat less calories than you burn, then the body has no choice but to use existing fat on your body for energy instead of calories from outside food. So eating more calories than your maintenance equals gaining some fat plus enhanced muscle growth, and eating less calories than your maintenance equals losing fat. Given that it takes burning around 3,500 calories to burn a pound of body fat, if you were eating 2,000 calories a day and losing a pound of body fat per week, your maintenance calories are most likely 2,500. Here's the math done for it. A pound of body fat per week burned means 3,500 calories per week burned. Divided by 7, that should be 500 calories burned per day. And if you are burning 500 calories per day, that means your maintenance is 500 more calories than you are burning per day, thus giving you 2,500 calories. For you to be able to do this though, you must be weighing yourself at least once a week. Make sure it's around the same time every day. Make sure you are in the same state every time you do it. Minimal to no food or water, and get relatively the same night's sleep, etc. If you don't get these two things right, your weight could fluctuate by about 5 to 10 pounds, making tracking progress almost impossible. If you find it hard to weigh yourself in a consistent state, you could also just weigh yourself in the morning every day and take the weekly average of your weight instead. So no matter whether you are cutting or bulking, using the scale is very important. Even if you have no clue how many calories are in what your maintenance calories are, just simply keep track of how your weight changes per week to see if you're doing it right. From there you'll know, oh, I gotta eat more, oh, I gotta eat less, etc. The scale is objective. Anyways, for more specific diet strategies, if you find yourself to be skinny fat and are missing your abs, then what you want to do is bulk, which simply means eat more calories than your maintenance. The amount of calories you should be eating above your maintenance should be around 300 to 500, which should be around at max a pound of body weight gain per week. You will gain some fat, which shouldn't worry you, man. The thing about having more muscle as well is that it's an investment towards future fat loss. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn per day by just existing and going about your life. Why do you think bodybuilders are devouring so much food, and how some YouTubers need to eat upwards of 3,500 calories a day to even gain a steady amount of fat? Once you are finished with your bulk or are starting just straight up obese, then you should be eating below your maintenance calories in a deficit of about 500 to 750. This should net you around 1 to 1.5 pounds of fat loss per week. You probably also didn't know this, but the dieting process, especially revealing your abs, will also be very affected by your genetics. Not just in that some people have higher metabolisms or whatever though. The order of body parts where fat is stored is genetically determined. Most people primarily store fat in their midsection and love handles, where for females it's also stored more in their hips and chest. The order of body parts on which fat is burned on the body is also genetically determined the same way, but in reverse. Where your body primarily likes to store fat is usually the last place it will look to burn fat. This is how you end up getting skinny fat people. They don't actually have that much fat, but the little fat they do have is very prominent because it's dogpiled on places like their belly rather than being more evenly distributed. This is also why it's so hard for most people to lose enough body fat to reveal the lower part of their abs, or their abs in general, which makes it even more important that you do develop your abs to an extent. Otherwise, you might need to get ridiculously lean to even see anything. So essentially, you can always get to your destination, but some people might lose fat in their face first, some in their arms, some in their thighs, or when bulking, some might gain fat in their torso first, face first, etc. Before we move on, we have some final concerns or myths you need to be aware of. I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but you cannot spa reduce fat. Your body will eventually lose fat in the desired area when you have lost enough fat to warrant your body to lose fat there, which is genetically determined. Carbs make you fat. Calories make you fat, and carbs have calories, so they potentially could. But if you ate less calories than you burn, but all the calories come from carbs, you would still lose fat. Simple logic. Speaking of water retention, as you cut down, if you don't have a ton of fat, you will probably feel a bit smaller and less fuller in the first few weeks, without any noticeable loss in definition. You're not losing muscle, but rather water and glycogen in the muscles. Once you are past that phase, then you will start losing fat consistently, so once you are as lean as you'd like, then you can simply bump up the calories and carbs again, and you'll gain back your fullness, making you look crazy. Cardio is required for fat loss. Cardio can have a lot of benefits besides fat loss, and I'd recommend it to pretty much anybody, but the only reason it works for fat loss is because it burns calories, increasing your calorie deficit that day. However, your primary method of being in a calorie deficit should still be your diet. The amount of cardio it would take to outtrain a shitty diet diet is not worth it, and it will most likely just end up impacting your lifting performance anyways. Lastly, moving on to a more mental aspect of getting abs. Revival Fitness has coined this term, I'm pretty sure, which is known as ab anxiety. What this simply means is a hyperfixation on how lean you are, especially how lean your abs are. I think it is a good thing to at least care and let that motivate you towards doing whatever it takes. But for most people, what ends up happening is this fixation just messing up their potential gym progress and makes their life a lot harder than it has to be. Where does this fixation come from? I can't say for sure, but I know a very big culprit is fitness social media. What do you always see when you're scrolling through fitness Instagram or TikTok? It's a bunch of lean and ripped guys and girls who are most likely on gear, with the perfect lighting, and pictures they had to retake hundreds of times. And of course they can bench 4 or 5 as well. Even if you don't outwardly say it, seeing this shit all the time starts to make you a bit insecure. You start to look up to all these influencers and want to look lean and ripped just like them. If you're not shredded, then you can't possibly look good, right? Your life will become so much better once you're 10% body fat, right? Of course building muscle in general will help you in life, improve your body composition, but nobody in the real world actually cares whether your abs are super defined or just decently noticeable. Nobody cares that you have a little bit of love handles or extra fat on the ball when you still have a decent amount of muscle. I'm not saying not to give it your all, but if you're not competing, don't have to make weight for a sport, etc., then the extra effort is just not worth it for what you get. Instead, just learn to let go a bit. Accept that you'll have to gain some fat, or that there will be many points along the journey where you won't feel good about where your physique is headed. It's kind of like growing your hair out. There will be an awkward phase in the middle that looks like shit, but you have to get through that in order to achieve long hair. Don't get so fixated on how your hair looks that you just decided to cut it short again, because then you'll never reach your goal of long hair. Alright. Now you know everything you need to know about getting abs. It's not some quick and easy shit you can just go on a fat loss diet for. They are something you have to work on building for the long game, gaining muscle in the abs and then eventually revealing them with a proper cut. If you are a fan of the shit I put out and want to skyrocket your progress, I am offering affordable personal training to anybody who subscribes to my only bars. With this, I can literally be right there for you to give you brutal honesty and make shit as simple as possible. I will also be there to monitor your progress and make sure you don't make any stupid decisions. Plus, you get free exclusive videos that nobody else has access to. All of this for a fraction of the price of a personal trainer. If you like the sound of that, the link is in the description. If you don't, that's alright man. You can always join the free community Discord if you want to interact with me and other random fitness enjoyers. I'm pretty active there. If you want to reap the most ab growth possible, make sure you also know how to properly engage your core in the compound exercises, or else you may risk breaking yourself or just falling to fatigue in the future when you get stronger. The video for that is right here. So what are you waiting for? Go start working and take action. You can like and subscribe if you'd like, and I hope you have a great day.